phones on silent, and clerk call the roll. Or do we have a clerk yet? Oh, we do. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you stepped out to get an amendment. Clerk call the roll, please.
Representative Ingram.
Here.
Representative Wood. Representative Boyd. Here. Representative Hurst. Representative Stanridge. Representative Clark. Here. Representative Crawford. Representative Jones. Representative Phillips. Here. Representative Hammond.
Here.
Representative Harrison.
Here.
Representative Pope Jones.
Here.
Representative Stubbs.
Here.
Representative Dasher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we get started, Representative Clark, would you lead us in the prayer, please, a short one? Right behind schedule. But in the meantime.
May we bow? Dear Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the safety you provided us to get through the night of turbulent weather. We thank you for granting us the wisdom to do the very best that we can. We deliberate in our committees and in the House chamber. We thank you for our families. We thank you for our good health. We thank you for all things. And above all, we thank you for being our Lord and Savior. We ask all things in your name, dear Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Representative Clark. We're going to go out of order a little bit. We're waiting on another amendment for HB 329. So first bill up is HB 333. Representative Faulkner, you got the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, real simply, this bill is creating an authority. It is not obligating any municipality to put in money to be a part of the authority. And let me explain why this authority, I am bringing this. As y'all know, police use firing ranges to train. And a lot of the firing ranges where I live in the suburbs of Birmingham are getting taken over by neighborhoods. And so the police don't have anywhere close to go train and to shoot firearms. This is looking at the proposal. I've been meeting with the police chiefs in my area is about an indoor firing range. We have the property, it'd be inside a building. Those buildings are not cheap. So all this is doing is setting up an authority that would allow us to raise money, take in money, and hopefully one day build a indoor firing range where police could train. And that's all this bill does. There is an amendment that I've heard that the County Commission Association had that is saying it's going to take an ordinance or by a city or a resolution by the county commission to abate any taxes from those entities. So that's really what it does. And Mr. Chairman, happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the member? I've got a question. On this, who's going to own this building?
The authority.
And the authority is going to be appointed. Who appoints the board on that?
So there's a, it's the municipalities that join it, and they will appoint the board. And right now, nobody's a member of the authority, but it's the suburbs, the cities up there. And the only reason it wasn't brought as a local bill, this facility is going to be in Jefferson County. But the only reason it wasn't a local bill is that in case a municipality joins, such as Vestavia that has like a street in Shelby or Hoover that's in, but we had to do it as a statewide bill. But the authority, the site for this indoor firing range is directly in Homewood. In fact, it's in, Mr. Thatcher and I both represent Homewood, but it's probably in his district, and Javos.
All right, do we have an amendment? Who's off? Oh, yes, sir.
You mean Senator Wagner?
Senator Crawford.
Yes, sorry, I called Javos.
It is a hand, Dan. Go ahead.
One question, is it normal that these authorities, employees from many of the retirement system and all that?
Is it normal that, I can tell you this, I've had no experience in these authorities before, but this came from LSA, and Frank Caskey did the original draft. And then who had done, he modeled it after an authority he did. So I'm not, Representative Crawford, is that in there? Then I've gotta go with. Yeah.
It specifically said
Yeah, it's in there.
that they,
Page 5, top of the page,
yeah, they participate in the employee retirement system. So if the city does not participate, then this
authority still
group
participate.
and the authority still participate.
Yeah, you know,
Line
yeah,
14
no,
and 15.
yeah, I see that, the employees of the authority, you know, this is giving them the ability to create this, and I assume that's, I don't think there's gonna really be many employees, because it's gonna be police departments, I mean, cities joining, and I guess I was thinking it was gonna be somebody from the police department that would be, but maybe there's gonna be one person who would run the firing range. You know, and I guess that's what's,
Was there a municipality that stimulated this, that wanted it?
so I've been meeting since last June with Homewood, obviously, who has the land, their police department, the Mountain Brook Police Department, the Vestavia Police Department, and Hoover's been at some of our meetings. The city of Birmingham has its own, range. But yeah, I don't expect there's gonna be a lot of employees. I really didn't pay a lot of attention to this statement. I'm assuming somebody will, if we were able to raise the money to build this, and have this building, that perhaps there would be an employee of the authority. I was just assuming they'd be from the city of Homewood, perhaps, police department.
All right, any more questions?
Well, and my question was just a little bit more, we do have municipalities in the state of Alabama that do not participate in RSA, correct?
Yes.
I think that's true.
Okay, so not regarding the Birmingham or Homewood area, if another entity, other cities did this, since this is a statewide bill, that was my question, was if a municipality that did not participate in the RSA system, this says, if I understand it correctly, that employee may participate.
That's the way I read it.
Is that correct?
That's what I think,
Okay.
Representative Crawford, you make a good point. Y'all understand, I'm not sure how many people would ever be employed if we can ever get the money to build this, but I wouldn't think it'd be a lot, but I think your point's well taken. I think, yes, if there was an employee of this authority, and that, yeah, it would allow them to participate in the employee's retirement system.
Even if the
authority
city
would
did
be
not.
paying all the stuff into the system. The authority would not, either one of the municipalities, just the authority. Right. Would be paying the
For this,
Part of the benefit package.
that's what I would think.
Let's see what
I think the point that the lady across the bay from me brings up, Representative Hope Jones, is that this could be problematic. I mean, if the municipality does not provide retirement, and then we come along with this wonderful facility, I mean, I could see that creating a problem for other employees in that municipality if they don't have the same.
Well, y'all, this is,
And it says may, it doesn't say shall,
right.
so that helps, but
Yes, ma'am, and I
who
think,
has the option, the facility to provide that benefit or the employee?
all right, hold on, guys, time out. Let's see if the County Commission Association can shed some light on this.
Mr. Chairman, and I certainly don't represent the retirement system, but I'm familiar enough. So there's over 900 local government entities that participate in the retirement system. Each local government entity has to petition RSA to join. So those vary from cities, counties, water authority boards, healthcare authority boards. So if this is establishing a separate authority, they could petition RSA, I would think, on their own, okay? But again, I'm not from RSA, but that's just how
That
that
clears it up.
Thank you.
Is that clear? Is that good? Okay.
See, you came in handy.
I'm very
Thank you.
helpful.
All right, let's, Representative Parker, you got any more comments?
Go ahead, Representative Crawford, and then I'll go
Yes,
after
ma'am.
that.
Like I'm willing to move this forward if he'll commit to finding that out.
Sure.
And if it requires a floor amendment to, where the authority on behalf of the employee can make that submission, to the retirement system. He'll figure out what that is, and if it's not a problem, fine. If it is a problem, we can fix it.
You good with that?
Yes, sir.
My comment, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
ma'am.
just that I think this is a good deal. I think it's a wonderful effort to help municipalities collaborate, pool their resources, and come up with a good training facility.
We've got an amendment on this. Who's offering the amendment?
I will.
All right. So tell me what your amendment does.
It cleans up some technical issues, wording, replacing line, you can read the whole.
Not
thing.
necessarily, just the guts of it, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical, issues on line 15, 103, line 106, and 18 and 19. And then, between lines 138 and 146, we're saying that the authority shall be exempt from all state taxes. The exemption provided in the section shall not apply to taxes levied by any county, municipality, or other political subdivision.
It also says that it has to be approved by the County Commission Association.
The
I mean, by the local county commission, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this was just, if, to abate those local taxes, they've got to pass an ordinance or a resolution by the commission in order to abate those taxes. I have talked to my Jefferson County commissioners. I believe Homewood's for sure on board, because they're kind of the ones that started this train rolling, but I'm fine with the amendment.
Any questions on the amendment? Do I hear a motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is adopted. Now we're back on the bill as amended. Representative Boyd, Dr. Boyd.
No question, I was gonna move, I think she had a question.
I just have one more simple question, sorry. The mayor of each municipality must serve. It cannot be the mayor or the mayor's appointment.
Yes.
I'm on line 94. Is that correct?
Yes,
So the mayor cannot appoint a representative.
that's right.
That's the way I read it. All right, do I hear a motion on HB 333?
I move the House Bill 333 of favor report as amended.
All in favor say aye. Oh, wait, we got one question.
I agree with that point. Can we add the language about proxy or a appointment by the mayor? Because, you know, some mayors.
We need to do that on the floor at this point. I'm not
Okay.
making any amendments that are already not on. We do that on the floor.
Yeah, I talked to you about it.
All right,
We're co-sponsors. I'll be happy to.
okay.
Yeah, we're going there.
All right,
Good point, Rev.
all right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
We had a
Thank you, Chairman. Next bill up is HB 362. Well, you need to, hold on one second. Do you need to get to a committee meeting? Have you got both of your amendments?
I do,
Yes.
yes,
All right, all right, let's go with that. HB 329, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Chairman, committee. Basically, what this does is makes a uniform for building tall structures, for Nova Cell. Currently, you have to get approval from municipality and FFA. It doesn't include the county, so now we want to include, make a uniform for counties to have that ability to approve tall structures and FAA.
All right, we've got two amendments. Let's get on the amendments.
Mr. Chair, I have both amendments. The first amendment, everybody should have, it's just a one-page, And this, in conjunction with ACCA and working on giving the local county, the ability, to provide this authorization, that the counties, to give that authorization, there are two entities that can approve that in the bill. And the counties are basically saying, if you have one of those proofs of authorization, then the counties will approve it. They're not gonna get in the business of trying to figure out, heights of structures and everything else, but the counties will approve as the governing body once, if they have, one of the two referenced, approval processes.
And the amendment we're on, guys, is 2JJ7M II-1, just to make sure we all.
Did I explain that properly?
Right?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so any questions on this amendment? All approved, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's given favorable approval. Now, on the second amendment, that would be Ford UUBAII.
And this second amendment was requested by Fort Novacell. One, and you'll see on there, there's a lot of statutes that are referenced in this amendment that were in conflict, so there's some cleaning up there. And then I think Representative Starnman on on line 36, if you look on the amendment, the second page, it strikes the total acreage of which installation is in excess of 500 acres, which is part of the definition of the military installation, and Fort Novacell requested that stipulation on the 500 acres be removed.
Any discussion on that amendment?
What line again is that?
That is on 36, the second page of the amendment. I'm looking at the amendment, sorry, it's stricken on there on page
That's it.
line 36.
Do I hear a motion on this amendment?
Motion.
No, I need a second.
And the reason for that, lesser than 500 acres, is there's evidently some little air pockets of airfields in different locations, and it's not.
Question, well.
Yes, sir.
All installations are in the county, there's any part of that in the municipality. Everything is in the county.
Well, we've got 4 cities, we've got Delville, Dothan, Enterprise, and Ozark, and there's 5 towns. Tallahatchie, Level Plains, Midland City, Newton, and Hinker. And there's the counties of Barber, Dale, Crawford, Geneva, Houston, and Cook.
But
They
you're
in a
saying
mix.
some of that facility is located in all those cities?
What I'm saying, I think the reason for this bill is there's towns next to it within 2 miles, but there's some places that don't have a town, that the county only administers, and they want the county to be able to do it.
Representative Clark?
I'm good.
You good?
Thank you.
All right, do I hear a motion on the second amendment? All right, y'all got that? Dr. Boyd, second motion.
Amendment, which the one that we have.
The Ford UU. Yes, ma'am.
UUBAII.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Now we're on the bill as amended and amended.
I approve. Two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
As a pilot, I have concerns that it just says tall structures. Am I missing somewhere that there's a definition somewhere of tall structures?
It's in the statute.
Is it in
Yeah.
the statute somewhere? Because I Googled it, it said 400 feet.
It's 200.
Is it,
It's 200 somewhere, I just read it.
I'm just saying Google says. That's what I was
But
wondering.
that's, I want you to be happy before we move on, but I had read that it was in the reverse. The way I took
It
it,
says,
Oh,
it
one of
was
the
in the
statutes, it
statute.
says 200 feet.
200.
Because I couldn't find it.
All right, any more questions? Do I hear a motion
I
on,
move to the House Bill 329 on favor report as amended.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, yes, sir. All right, next bill up, is HB 362. I did call a public hearing on this. Mary Ruth was out. The Baker Allen had called and texted me over the weekend, and, so I am going to grant him that public hearing. We did not put a sheet out for a sign up, but if there's anybody signed up, I'd like to see a show of hands so we can get you written up. It's just you. Thank you. All right, that's how we. Don't you know? Not bringing the army with you. All right, next bill up is HB 362. Representative Sales, Chairman Sales, you have the floor, sir.
Chairman, thank you, committee. All this bill does is says that, cities, counties, and school boards will record their meetings and put them on a site that people can go to and view on that later date. They got, bill says 1 day, we have an amendment, it says 2 days, and, it just says that they be for public review online. And there's no penalties, no fines, anything like that.
I was kind of surprised this hadn't been done before. Anyway, I didn't know that we wasn't already doing it.
Well, some of them are, a lot of them are.
Any questions?
So you're saying they're required to do it, but there's no penalties if they don't?
No fines, penalties.
Before we get through to,
Why would we be doing it then? Because
See?
well, if they want to do it, they can do it without the law. Right?
That's true.
So
So the law's gonna say they need to do it.
this law says they need to do it.
And there may be it's not good for this town to break the law, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if it's law, it's different, but if it's penalties,
I'll take an amendment from you.
I'm not a fan of the bill to start with. I don't want to do something.
Well, all it does is give your constituency a little transparency. And what I've done is last year, I let the cities and the counties know that I was coming with, I give a year's advance notice. And, to work on.
Have you ever considered the size of the city or?
So I represent counties and cities that have 3,000 people, and they all have cell phones, and all it takes is a cell phone and an upload. It's not nothing to it.
Cumberland County Commission does it on YouTube, they just video it with a cell phone. It's not very elaborate, but you can watch it live or come back and edit it.
And it's done in a way where they don't require any feedback, or no comments, or any of that kind of stuff. They say they have the comments turned off, they know how to do that. It's just, the time we live in is just something we should do.
and let's do this. Let's move, Dr. Boyd, if you'll hold your thought, please. Let's move to the public hearing, and then we'll come back, talk about the amendment, vote on it, and move forward or not move forward. So, Baker Allen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. I'm Baker Allen, Director of Governmental Affairs for the Alabama League of Municipalities. We're opposed to House Bill 362. First of all, we already have to record our minutes. So anyone who wants a record of what happened in a municipality, that is already publicly available and has to be produced by law. Some of our municipalities already do this recording. Some of your communities are probably familiar with that. This bill creates a one-size-fits-all option. We have concerns with the implementation side on this bill. First of all, not everyone has internet. We know that. The state has spent a lot of money trying to build broadband out to our communities. So there's a question of what about those communities in the very rural areas that don't have connectivity? Then their municipalities don't have websites, and this bill requires them to post that. And then on top of posting it on the website side, some of those websites are static. They don't have the ability to be integrated with videos or dynamic elements of this. Which leads to the next question: if you put it on YouTube, Facebook, or other groups, the problem with that is under law, while a lot of cities do that, you're gonna make someone go to watch an ad to view that if you want free access. Put it on Facebook where you might have to create an account to watch it or subject it to other elements. And so the only way to get around that is actually pay to have something hosted so you don't have that restriction. So we have concerns, especially those small rural communities trying to implement this. Additionally, you have to deal with recording equipment. We don't talk about cell phones and cameras, but if you've got a loud meeting, you're trying to video record it, you might not be able to hear the committee overall. And then there's technology and logistics too. like Facebook, I was on a call with our membership, they go, we put it on Facebook, but they delete it after every 30 days. So if you don't know to download it and then re-upload it, you're automatically gonna come out of compliance. So that- Kind of fun two things, the legislature doesn't even have this requirement on themselves. There are other entities that do record those. You see, not even recording here from the state side for the live stream. We think this is a local decision, and that decision should be made by those local governments. If that community wants this, that's something that will be addressed at the local level. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Baker, I've got the first question. Give me 2 cities that don't have internet.
I think Ethelsville, I know for one, does not have that, except for
Where are
Maryland. They're in northwestern Alabama. I have to mail them a copy.
Let's
of
get that on the governor's, last mile.
And we have the local motor fuels report, and I have to physically mail them a letter every year so they can write
They
it
don't
out.
even have cell phone internet?
Guess not. They asked me to go, we don't have internet. I need you to mail me a
Let's get with
copy.
that representative. We need to make sure that what's the other one? Is there another one?
I didn't come up, I didn't bring my whole list here. I know some have, and then there's a difference between internet and broadband.
Right.
And that deals with the upload down, not to get into too much tech.
Right.
Even if you have internet, it's one thing to download something, it's another thing to upload it.
Now, do any municipalities charge for any public documents, such as the minutes or such as expenditures or anything? Do other municipalities charge for that?
So I do not know about charging for getting access to minutes. I know certain public records requests, y'all familiar with that, there are fees associated with that.
Can you let me know when you find out about that? Because I know that a lot of municipalities are charging for, some things like you're talking about expenditures and stuff, and I think that ought to be up to I think that's, public expenditures is taxpayers' money. I don't think it ought to be paid to have access to a committee meeting or to a city council meeting, and I'd like to know that, but.
If they want access to the minutes, will they have to go to the city hall or the courthouse or?
That's a good question. I bet you probably reach out to the clerk, it's normally the one responsible in the community for making sure.
Do all clerks work full-time in all of this?
I don't think all
So it's
cities
not-
have a clerk.
It's harder access, I guess.
It can be.
I can answer, like, the city of Fairhope, I can tell you what they do. If it takes the clerk less than about 15 minutes to get you your information, there's no fee. But once you get into, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour or more, they start charging you, and then they'll charge you for the paper, like amount of paper that they have to put out if it's over a nominal amount. That's what the city of Fairhope does, and not all cities have.
Dr. Boyd,
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You answered some of my questions, but looking at the physical note, that's what, the physical note to this says, that as it is introduced, that it would increase the obligation of local governing bodies and local boards of education by an undetermined amount depending on the cost to do these following things. Are to record open public meetings, to publish the recordings onto their website, and to provide instructions on how to access the recorded meetings on each website. And to me, that would have affect a lot of smaller systems or even medium sized, even if you have the equipment. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Correct. I heard some mention too, you can just do it on your cell phone. I worked back in the governor's office in the day, and we had a state phone and a personal phone. And we never wanted to do business on a personal phone because that becomes a record. You say, well, clerk, put your personal phone up there and record it. I can imagine that'd be an issue. If you're sitting, you really want to make sure what your recording device is. It's going to want to be separate.
So most mayors, I'm sure, have a city phone.
I'd like to check. I think some do, but I don't know that all do. But we're talking especially about keeping a public record, which this video will become under this. All of a sudden, that adds an additional element, right? Versus our communities that currently post and put it up there because they want to do that. But under the law, that adds another level.
And I know Representative Stubbs has a question, but we were giving you 5 minutes and you're burning your 5 minutes up. So is there anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good on
All
this.
right, now he has a question. Go ahead.
Well, my comment and question, mostly a comment, I think many of us have been in situations where either we get a phone call about a school board, a city council, or a county commission meeting who holds meetings at times that the public can't get to, and people wonder why are they doing it at 10 a.m. I work, or 5 p.m. and I don't get home from work, or all of those things. And we should be doing everything we can to provide those people with access. And there's always going to be some roadblocks, whether it's internet access or any other things. But you know, we've got to find solutions. If this isn't the solution, then there needs to be a solution. And if people are having to get minutes from, let's say, 6 months worth of city council meetings, that's going to take more than 15 minutes for the clerk to do. So now we're telling people they're going to have to pay to get the minutes, which many municipalities probably post their minutes in an archive form on their website. Some certainly may not have the manpower to do that, but you know, it seems to me that this is an opportunity. And I know Representative Crawford said earlier, there's no penalty, there's no fine, there's no those things, and maybe there should, maybe there shouldn't be. But in the end, I think our objective should be to provide access to the people, and it's 2025, and I think a lot of people have access to a lot of things if they want to do it.
Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Allen, when the chair asked you about the number of cities that do not have internet, you said you didn't have your list. So how long is that list? Can you recollect?
I'll see, we did it several, so the other thing is, we've been expanding, which is great. I had a list a while ago, it wasn't a very long list, it was just anecdotal feedback. But I think, when we talk about internet, there's kind of two sides to talk about. Literally, can you access the internet? Then there's the broadband portion. And that's, what we're talking about here is content creation. People won't talk about Instagram, all that. Content creation really is taking a document and putting it online. And that's not just your download, but it's your upload elements as well. So it's possible to access stuff to bring down to your phone, but you're limited on how you can return it back to be posted.
So one other
there's a
question,
map on.
So, Representative Sells said that he had reached out to both the league and the association a year ago. Was there any communication? I'm hearing, well, I know that ACCA had some, because I've got their amendment. So did you have an occasion to talk to the sponsor of this deal a year ago? And
I believe my coworker did speak to him, former government affairs director. But we spoke a couple of weeks ago about the bill. He told me he was bringing it, and I told him we were going to have concerns and problems with it.
All right, let's, real quick.
Got one more question. Depending upon their specific rules for the, what is required to be in the minutes is a truncated form of what actually happened. And I brought across sessions where what actually was happening said didn't actually meet up. And it really, on most, if it's Robert's Rules of Order, all you have to do is report actionable items. And so that's a pretty severe truncation of what actually was happening.
And quickly, Mr. Chairman, does it ease your mind that there's no penalty for not?
I always prefer no penalty to a penalty, but it still brings up that concern, right? You can still sue and say you're out of line, and that court said you've got to start implementing this. So there is that level of enforcement mechanism. There's, my city's not doing it. We come back, there's a push to add a penalty later. We've talked about certain compliance issues. We suggest no penalty route to get to compliance levels. But on this one, I still think it creates that situation, even though there's no direct penalty.
Let's get the sponsor back up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let's see, getting back to your comment on YouTube, I guess you could download it and.
You can watch it from 2 years ago.
Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know how YouTube works. So I'm a YouTube watcher, but never a poster. All right, we have an amendment.
It's doable. I wouldn't ask for it if it wasn't doable. And I give them a year's notice to work on it out, to come here and say, they're surprised about things.
Representative Clark has an amendment. Let's talk about that amendment before we move forward. Representative Clark.
So I do have the amendment. I think it's it states replace lines 24 through 26 on page 1 with the following. Section 1, for the purpose of this act, the following terms have the following meanings. There's a definition of local governing body, a definition of meeting. And then replace line 28 on page 1 with the following. Record by audio and video means each open and public meeting of the. Replace lines 30 through 31 on page 2 with the following. 2, make the audio and video recording available to view online no later than 2 business days after the adjournment of the meeting. And,
Is that your motion?
yes,
Make
it
that
is.
the motion. All right, I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to that. Now, HB 362 as amended, do I hear a motion?
I got more questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Representative Harrison brought this up, the actionable items. Why don't we limit it to actions that they're taking rather than meetings? In the last couple of years, there's been a tremendous amount of opportunities they give. I was on the council 12 years, and people come and speak. Well, the same people come and call them everything in the world. And they come back every council meeting, they do it again. And you're looking at 15, 20 minutes of the same thing over and over and over. And I don't think it's fair. That's not an actual item. Why let them get something that they can use for their protest?
Well, sure, they're talking, they're recording anyway.
I'm sorry?
I said, I imagine if they're talking, they've got somebody recording.
Somebody may be, but then they can send it to their friends and that not be public to everybody in Limestone County. So why did we bring this?
It's just, I've went to some meetings, county commission and stuff, and there's nobody there. And like we said, we live in a time now where we can't get there, and some meetings are at 9 a.m. and stuff, have questions like that. I just thought we're in a time now where, and some of them are there, and I think a lot of them are in it, they know it's coming. You know, the time we're living in, I think this is just gonna say, okay, let's go ahead and go with it. And I'm not too demanding in the process or whatever, I give them a year to work on it.
But not having the penalty, then they're really not, there's no consequences to what they do. So the city can choose to do it or not to do it, which I hope the city of Athens chooses not to do. And I would support them in it. But people should, if they got issues coming up, they should be at meetings and express their concerns. That's why you have them.
And I guess go ahead, I'm sorry. I mean,
Just like this public hearing we're having here, you know? And why we're, you know, the hardest place to get to hear anything that's in a meeting is Montgomery, Alabama. We don't do that here.
We do it my committee.
Yeah. If somebody records and puts it on YouTube,
It's online, it's on the
I
state.
think,
So
I
it's
think
stored?
the League of Women Voters.
The League
The
of Women
League of Women
Voters,
Voters
that's,
is doing it.
okay.
we don't do it.
No, we
No, it's
don't
online, you
require-
can go online and watch it, it may not be stored, but you can watch it live, everything we do up here.
Yeah, you watch it live.
So you want to amend that to put that in there?
Yeah, that'd be fine, but that, see, they can't do that.
But actionable items, they can do that. You know, and not have these airing out dirty laundry, the same people every week. And this does not include library boards, right?
It's elected board.
Okay.
Local government board and local board of education.
Your school boards, your.
So if the school board is appointed, they don't have to do it then. But who's saying it's probably not? Well, we need to know, right? Athens is an appointed school board.
It would have to. I mean, you wouldn't have to. It says
Well, it's
elected.
named school boards, and school boards are in here. So they probably have to do it, but like library boards and stuff like that are appointed.
This is local governing bodies and local boards of education.
So whether you're elected or not elected.
With the board of education, but not the library.
Yeah. All I can say is at least put an amendment that we look at actionable items. That's all people are concerned about.
I guess you could do a local bill to opt out, couldn't you? If somebody wanted to bring a local bill to opt out.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be fine. This bill's been big talking about.
But listening to this, what if somebody made a mistake and you went in the executive session, now this may not happen. And that's just one technical point I'm thinking about.
It wouldn't be
And-
recorded in the.
Oh, but it's not, oh, I know the law, I understand it's not supposed to be.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be, it's done.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not different with you saying it won't happen.
But a lot of your,
It could happen.
most of your municipalities are already doing it in your counties, I would say the larger ones are already doing it.
Well, like in the school.
Humans
board in other
operate
counties
equipment,
already do that.
and sometimes we make mistakes.
Yes, I guess the concerns I have is for our smaller communities, towns that, may not have the wherewithal. Of course, you know, we've been doing it in the city of Fairhaven for 15 years, I mean, way a long time ago. The county, Baldwin County, we've done it. You can go on and see any of ours, and we put it on Facebook, and you can watch it, you know, as the county commissioner, the city council meetings come on. I am concerned about these small communities, and I wonder if, you know, here, we have the League of Women Voters come in, and they're the ones that put it on the, Alabama channel, and that's how we were able to go back and see live, you know, when we're in session, we can go back actually and see all that. But the state of Alabama doesn't pay for anyone to do that. And I wonder, you know, the city does that and takes on that responsibility, even though, you know, it may not be much, but it does take someone's time to do that and make sure it's done appropriately, because we've got a 48-hour timeline, and we say that we don't have to, you know, it's not gonna be, you know, if you don't do it, there's no penalty, but that means they're a lawbreaker.
Yeah, I would be,
Nobody
I would
wants to
be
break the
open
law.
to see, there was a question asked earlier about municipality size. You can't go by that anymore, and none of that matters. I think limited to population would be appropriate, I'd be all for that.
You'd be amenable to an amendment
As long as it was, you know, something,
That's
very
my
important,
question.
you know,
by
3,000.
population and also, I think we should include the availability of.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I would do it now for class 1 and 2 cities only.
It's class 1 and 2.
Birmingham.
The one that's already
Folks trying to do it, yeah.
Well, and I'll just add
Representative
to the visibility of what Representative Fiddler has. One of my municipalities, they didn't even have a traffic light,
Yeah, I'm saying,
you know, and so just to visualize that.
Mayberry.
And they are, and I mean, when we say part-time clerk, we're talking very, very,
Volunteer basis.
everything's pretty much, I don't know that our mayor, that mayor gets paid, but it is a concern for that, those little bitty
yeah, that
exceptions.
needs to be addressed, I agree with that.
Alright, so,
But that's what I hope to work out with the league when I give them the year's notice.
I would just about bet money this municipality doesn't have the money to be a member of this, or even know the league exists, you know?
Everybody knows Baker.
Mr. Chairman, can I just add one comment? I think any municipality, school board, or county commission that currently does this, I don't think any of them would regret that they do it. It is such a tool as an elected official to be able to say, you know, when people say, why I can't make the meeting, all those things, to be able to say, there's access to all of these things, and to be able to reference that it's either live online or posted online. Now, there certainly are probably some that have various challenges with the size of the population and all those things, and I think that would be a wise amendment to address, but I think that if used properly, it is a tool for our local elected officials.
and I don't really get it that, the size, because you can record it on your phone and wait until you drive to the next municipality, or wait until you get internet and download it on YouTube, you know, so you got 48 hours to.
That's business, that's 2 business days.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if you were back in that back corner recording on the cell phone, you would have no idea what anybody said.
Oh, I agree, but it's being done, and it doesn't matter, as long as it's being
Well,
done.
it won't be up
They
in
can
the back
have
of the
it
room, it won't be a person, it'd be something set up in front of them. It'd be working just like they work in there.
So I guess if they didn't want to comply or didn't want to break the law, they could, at least they recorded it. You know, that would be, I guess that would be something that they could work out. All right, I guess any amendments, I'm not gonna take any other amendments because we don't have it So if any amendments have to be done on the floor, do I hear a motion on this bill as amended? Oh, we didn't got the amendment yet, have we?
Yes.
Okay, yes, we did. All right, do I hear a motion on this? Is that you making the motion?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor to HB 362 as amended? Say aye. All opposed likewise. Clerk, you got that?
Me.
All right, 2 noes, Representative Crawford and Dr. Boyd. Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you, Chairman. All right, I hear a motion to adjourn.